From Real Talk Studios to the Muslim community of Trinidad and Tobago, we would like to extend Eid Mubarak to the Muslim community, to you and your family. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. I do want to thank you for joining us live on Synergy Television from 7 to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. So viewers, remember, we are live on Facebook. Go onto your account, type in Real Talk with Saieed Ali. You will see our Facebook, our page popping up. Remember to like and share our page. Every single night, I encourage you to share our page, because it is the next biggest thing in Trinidad and Tobago. The #1 current affairs program. We keep you up to date with all the issues that are taking place via our paid viewers. So you have 5,000 persons on your page, and every time you share that, it's 5,000 people by 5,000 people by 5,000 people. So share our live stream. Those of you who haven't subscribed to YouTubers yet, TT Real Talk, hit the bell, subscribe, and you will know when we go live. So viewers, keep in mind, we are doing a drive, but it's not a food drive this time. It is a drive to buy tablets and laptops for students that are in need. Now remember, the government have selected schools and students, but there are thousands of students that are without devices still. And in order to get a device from the government, you have to go through a means test. And if you fail by a point or two, you will not be granted a device. So what Real Talk is doing, we are asking you to donate a 5 or a 600. It will go to help purchase a device. Now to get a proper device is almost about $1,000, $1,100 and more to get a proper device. So what you could do is call us 238-6716 or 339-1670 to pledge a 500 or a 600. Right now, in doing this, what Real Talk Studios is giving back to Trinidad and Tobago, you could win an all-inclusive trip to an exotic hotel in Tobago valued at between $5,000 to $7,000. An all-inclusive weekend. You don't have to worry about cooking. You don't have to worry about food. You're going to the resort and you're enjoying the weekend. So I am asking you viewers, for the thousands of students that are left behind, where education is important, please make a contribution. Please make a contribution. So as we start off tonight, we move on to the EBC. All national identification cards currently expired or due to expire in 2021 are now valid until December 31st, 2021. The Election and Boundaries Commission stated that this move has become necessary due to the ongoing requirements of public health regulations. EBC believes the extension will facilitate persons who are unable to make an appointment at this time due to the temporary closure of all call centers and manage the number of persons visiting the office. The commissioner says it is mindful that some of these institutions are not aware of the extension and have refused to accept expired ID cards. However, it is reminding that the cards are valid and should be accepted when presented. So viewers, all who have the identification card, that is the Trinidad and Tobago identification card, if your ID card is expiring anytime before December 31st, it will be valid. Or if your ID card is expired and you call in the center and you cannot get a date, the EBC is telling you your expired ID card is still valid until December 31st. So we just wanted to update you with that, viewers. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Good night, Mr.
Hello?
Hello, good night.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Right ahead.
I would like this woman, and he said, right? What did said George and
Caller, I do apologize, but we will have to cut you. There is a break in transmission from your phone to our office, to our operator. I do apologize for that. So viewers, as we move on tonight, several MPs who have received food baskets to be distributed to persons in their constituency have pledged to help the neediest of the needy first. The food basket forms part of the social assistance measures to assist the neediest and the most vulnerable in society who have been most affected by the latest public health regulations. Point 14 MP Kennedy Richards stated that his constituency received and already distributed 100 of the food basket. This initiative from the Ministry of Agriculture saw 2,000 families in 8 of the 41 constituency receiving the first set of local vegetables and fruit package and local processed chicken. However, Couva South MP Rudinath Endara Singh received 100 baskets and called on the government to keep its original promise and gave out 600 baskets per constituency. The constituency office at Debe Junction received 350 food baskets. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead, my dear.
I would like to find out this woman they call Annie said George. And the one Christine Kangali. And all the other PNM that sit down there and they clapping, ray, and they are not allowed the UNC to say about the virus, to talk about the virus. They should hold all of them and push them away, and I don't know what to do with all of them nasty sympathy.
Caller, I do understand what you're saying. But if you would keep your language intact, we would have facilitated your call. And I want you, the listening public, to understand that there are kids also looking at Real Talk. Not just you. Yes, I understand your frustration. Yes, I understand you want to make your point as firm as possible. But keep in mind there are children looking on. Caller, good night.
Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak.
To you, my friend.
Mr. Saeed, you know what I want to tell you? I want to tell you that the people who secure in ill one supposed to be more secure. You understand? And the police officers supposed to be more secure because they interact with all type of people. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Minister of Health Terence Saieed Singh have stated that the country can achieve herd immunity. Now, becomes immune against COVID-19. Herd immunity, become immune against COVID-19. Within 6 to 7 months, this is what he is saying. Herd immunity means become immune against COVID-19 within 6 to 7 months. But this requires support from the opposition. Saieed Singh stated that the opposition has a role in the success of the country's vaccination efforts by stopping the spread of the vaccine misinformation. Senator Wade Mark questioned him, Mr. Terence Saieed Singh, on a time frame within which the country could achieve herd immunity. Saieed Singh then indicated that achieving this depends on the spread of the virus, but also required that 60 to 70% of the country's adult population is vaccinated.
Madam President, herd immunity is about getting 60 to 70% of our adult population vaccinated. That means about 600 to 700,000 persons. A cabinet decision, I took a note to cabinet to do just that.
They took a note to cabinet. Now I'm going to tell you something. Now they're talking about getting the population vaccinated, the adult in the population, between 60 to 70% of the country's population, adult should be vaccinated. But all the time they didn't talking about that, you know. They didn't talking about that all the time. They say all the time they knew about it. They never made mention about it. The CMO knew about it, but never made mention about it. Now that they have 1.5 million Sinopharm vaccine coming in, now they decide to talk now about the 60 to 70%. All the time they've been talking about that. And this is not new news to them, you know. It might be new news to you, the citizens, but not to them. Not to them. However, the Alsing said it is dependent on variables, which is firstly the availability of vaccine. They've been talking about it all the time. You have 1.5 million doses coming into Trinidad now. So now you decide to throw it out into the public. But yet you blame the opposition. The opposition not buying the vaccine. The opposition not cutting the deal. What the opposition wants is for the public to know who is the manufacturer. How much you're paying for the vaccine. How much vaccine you purchase. That is what they want the citizens to know. So don't blame the UNC about the misinformation. It's not misinformation. You all went and said a non-disclosure. You all did all your thing behind the curtain. And now you're talking about the UNC spreading misinformation. I would like to know how much you pay for the vaccine. That is what I would like to know. And I would like to know, why didn't you go to the IMF and take the loan to buy the vaccine from China? You ain't go come out and tell the public that. You tell the public, when they get the loan, 15% of it have to go back to China's material, meaning the vaccine. 204 million US dollars. 26 million US dollars went back to China for vaccine. Where is the other 180 something million US dollars? Where is that money going? Mr. Dayal Singh, Mr. Finance Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister, where is that 180 something million US dollars going to do? You all sign a non-disclosure. Okay, you are we cannot tell you the citizens the price. All right. Okay. So what about the 180 something million US? What is that going to do? What is it going to do? Come out and tell the population. Because you already got 8 million US from the States. All you're planning to dip in the HSF. But you have 180 something million US dollars at your disposal. Trinidad and Tobago, all is sleeping. All is sleeping. He stated, the public confidence in the vaccine. That was his second statement. And thirdly, the opposition should refrain from undermining the government's vaccination effort.
There are three variables, however. Variable number one, availability of vaccines, which we must have in commercial quantities, large quantities, which we are currently working on to good effect. Two, public confidence in the vaccines. And 3, we need to get the UNC to stop undermining the government's vaccination plan. That is the most important component to reach herd immunity.
Now, I'm going to tell you something, Mr. Diyal Singh. You all now secure the availability of the vaccine. You all just did that. Secondly, the public is looking at international news and they are seeing what is taking place when people take the vaccine. So with that, we're not blaming the UNC, we're not blaming the PNM. They are looking at international news and seeing what is taking place. Thirdly, if the UNC came out and tell the population X, Y, and Z, it's for you, the minister. It's for you, the minister, to come out and tell the population, no, it is not X, Y, and Z. It is ABC, and present your proof of ABC. That is how you will get the confidence of the public. So don't come out and put your questions in 1, 2, 3 and expect Trinidad and Tobago citizens, especially a man like Saieed, to just swallow it like if I'm drinking Milo tea. No, I have an answer for you. Stupidity is a serious thing. It's a very serious thing. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Upfront greetings to the Muslim community. A happy Eid Mubarak.
Thank you.
Tonight, I will show you all, I might be a prophet, but I didn't go like Kutu. Remember, I've always been saying on demand for 666. Today, 12th of May, and we have 2 6s already. 66 people died. So that's 2 6. And it's not long off, because you know what Dr. Brian said today? He said the amount of cases equates to the amount of death. So more cases they have, you're going to have more deaths. So people expect what's going on. The other thing is, they're talking about herd immunity. I've seen on a little Twitter feed from the MOH that there is a positivity of 40%. If there's a positivity of 40%, we are on the way to herd immunity. It's simple, because if you testing people and 40% of it, that means it's done widespread.
True.
So the argument for herd immunity and vaccine might be irrelevant. Your MOH stands for Ministry of Health, and I do have to do it. The other thing is, the Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister said, invite floated medical boats to come in. You remember Patrick, the Honorable man, what he did when he had show come and serve from America, and he spent money left, right, and center to bring floating hotels. That is where we have to spend the money if we have disasters like this caused by the PNM for keeping the borders open, spend the money to bring to help protect lives. That is it. Here, the Pepana, call him the Pepana, everybody knows. He don't know where he gets the COVID from. You think the Trinidad population don't know where the COVID coming from? Where the COVID coming from, and that's where you get from. From the open borders, they lock down the airport, but they leave the borders open. So that is where. So if he's so stupid that he don't come as an ordinary citizen, I know where it's coming from. I'm going to have a nice day.
Thank you, my friend. Staying on Diyal Singh, he added that if the opposition work with us, the government can administer 700,000 vaccines to achieve herd immunity in about 6 to 7 months. Listen to this.
If the UNC, as led by the Honorable Kamla Prasad-Bissessar and her spokespersons, keep on undermining faith in the vaccines, we will not achieve it. So this is where we all need to come together again and provide leadership. However, if the opposition works with us, we could administer 700,000 vaccines in this country to achieve herd immunity in about 6 to 7 months, based on deploying vaccines to all 104 health centers and 10 mass vaccination sites, as I indicated in my cabinet note. So the plan is there, but it calls for leadership. It calls for people to stop undermining the government's vaccination program.
Hey, Terrence! Hey, Terrence! You're talking about leadership. When other countries were sending requests to India, our Prime Minister, your colleague, your Prime Minister was telling the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, I am not going to beg. So what are you talking about leadership? What are you talking about come together? Eh? How long was that? A couple of weeks back. A couple of weeks back. Thank God the High Commissioner of India and the PM of India, thank God they think. Thank God they think, and thanks to Kamala for sending the first letter to them. So when you're talking about leadership, what you talking about come together? Let me tell you something. Back in 2020, if the House Speaker they come together with Wade Mack and Tim Gopi Singh, they could have managed COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago. So don't go on no platform and bump your gum. But if the UNC and they're undermining and they come together and leadership, but you're talking, watch me, you're talking nonsense. You're talking nonsense, but you're talking rubbish, boy. I could pull back videos and show when they're talking nonsense. Prime Minister said he ain't begging. Let me tell you something. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who voted PNM, your Prime Minister, your leader, told you, I am not going to beg. Meanwhile, in Jamaica, they were thanking the High Commissioner. That is facts. When Tim Gopi Singh and Wade Mack raised the issue in the House, I am not satisfied. I hope you're satisfied now. I, Saeed, hope the House of Speaker is satisfied now. Caller, good night.
Hi, pleasure getting you.
Go right ahead, you're live on Real Talk.
Yes, this is a caller from South. I mean, I be sure, right? People have been voicing their concern about a lot of things going on in the country. I just want to ask one thing, Mr. Saieed. I mean, you're a man of intelligence. We have a president of Trinidad and Tobago, and people are the majority. The government is the minority. I just want to ask something. Can the majority of citizens ask for election? That's what I'm asking. Thank you.
If the population could ask for election. Now I'm going to tell you something, caller. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, they had a chance on August the 10th. Was 2020? What was the election? 2020 or 2019? Election. 2019. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, they had a chance on August the 10th, 2019. After 5 years of struggling, we the citizens, I didn't say me too, because I'm Trinidad and Tobago, even I did not vote. We the citizens choose to put them back. So when I stand here now, and I ask for something, and I fight for something, and I show you all the reason why I'm fighting for this, and why I want it for you all, is because back then, you all were studying party, PNM party, PNM party, PNM party, but you all were not studying the representative that you were put in. All you voted for, party, UNC party, PNM party, ANR party, ILP party. You all voted for party. You all didn't vote for change. Look at the facts now. Kamala administration was giving out laptops to the students in school. Look at the facts now. PNM administration cut that. They cut it. So when they was getting laptops for your children, no, we don't want it. PNM saying, we will cut the laptop. Who great is the PNM? So who are you blaming? Who are you blaming? I am representing the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who is asking for a change. That is what I am representing. Herd immunity is defined as resistance to an infectious disease within a population based on immunity and a high proportions of individuals because of previous infections or vaccinations. So now that they secure it, now that they don't want to tell nobody how much they pay for it, they're coming out now and bumping their gum now on herd immunity. Let me tell you something. You think they didn't know about this before? You want to tell me the CMO didn't know about this before? They knew about it. They knew about it. When all the countries were trying to secure vaccine, what were we doing? What was Trinidad and Tobago government doing? Other CARICOM countries asking and begging, ministers begging on behalf of the citizens. What did our Prime Minister say? I am not going to beg. If I'm asking for a gift, it's like begging. So I am not going to beg. How did you feel? How did you feel when your Prime Minister sat on a chair and crossed his legs and told you that? How did you feel? Knowing that you put that individual there. Now we have deaths. Over 200 deaths of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago. How are you feeling now? How are you feeling now? Good? Let me tell you something. Your loved one could have died in the 200. Your husband could have died in the 200. Your children could have died in the 200. Your wife could have died in the 200. Your neighbor could have died in the 200. But we're happy. We like it so. I always say, I will support a productive government. I am not of no party. I fund my show myself. And I'm proud of that. You know why I'm proud of it? Because I could stand here and tell all you what your government is supposed to tell you. And what you need to know from your government. Why do you think they signed non-disclosure? Why do you think? To keep the price away from you. That is what they did. So I want to know now, the next 180 something million US that they got approved from China after giving them back $26 million for vaccine, what they're going to do with that money? Caller, good night.
Good night, I caller from New York here.
New York, welcome New York.
Yes, Minister, we have a one. People out here in New York get $800 food pantry to get food. And the minister there come and tear in the eye for some money from an I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to give you a piece of dash and some sugar.
Caller, I do apologize, but there is some breaking transmission somewhere. I don't know if it's the phone line itself, but there is some break. I do apologize for that. So after all the COVID now, we're still in array. We're still in array with the COVID. We still want to know if we're getting correct information. But the key thing is, you took a loan from China to purchase vaccine from China. Why didn't you go to the IMF and try to see if you get the same 2%? And from the US now, you could buy Sinopharm in China. I'm asking the question, why? Why? So we're moving on to the pepper spray now. Before that, we have a caller. Good night.
Hey, good night. How are you doing?
Aye, good. Go right ahead.
Eid Mubarak to the community. You're talking something there that makes a lot of sense because you have to look at the fact that they take the money, and when they take the money, they go on to the vaccine. What they're going to do with the rest of the money? The previous time for COVID-19, they got a lot of money, and they used a portion of money for the people in the country, and the rest of the money went where it was about 700. So at the end of the day, this government is using COVID-19 to get money and to misuse the money in public affairs. The people in this country need to wake up and see what is it going on. And at the end of the day, the same people who voted them into power will not come out and say that you do it because they will come out begging now. Say we need to get it and we need to get it. So we have to be careful what we do. Thank you. Have a good night.
Well said, well said, well said. Look out for new taxes, Trinidad and Tobago. Look out for new taxes. HSF money going down. HSF no longer represent Heritage and Stabilization Fund. You know what's the new meaning I put it? Help save funds. That is the new meaning I put it. So legislation for pepper spray have been introduced to the Senate as the amendment of the Firearm Act. Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi stated that the bill would amend the Firearm Act, Chapter 1601, to define pepper spray as an inflammatory agent which cause harm to the eyes or throat, resulting in the immediate closure of the eye or difficulties breathing. Listen carefully, you know. Under the Amendment Act, estate police, special reserve officers, and others, as approved by the minister, will be able to have pepper spray in their possession when performing their functions. So viewers, estate police, special reserve officers approved the spray. You, the normal citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, will not get it. Al-Rawi also added that police commissioner would be able to issue a pepper spray import permit or a pepper spray permit if an applicant had a good reason for wanting the permit. Listen to this.
We, of course, allow the Commissioner of Police to be satisfied, and again, this is intended to be linked to the provision of telling the truth, making sure that your application is truthful, make sure that you do not trip the law by an offense of not telling the truth, and we allow in the exercise, and this is intended to be a very short exercise, this is not intended to be any lengthy exercise for approval. The Law Association has recommended that we put a time frame into this exercise. We respectfully disagree with that approach because the subject of judicial review is a large one. We have allowed for the appellate process, if you are denied a pepper spray permit, to go before the Firearm Appeals Board, and therefore we have a due process consideration here. But we intend for this to effectively be a fill out the form, a verification, a swearing of the truth, and then the permit is answered. If you are found to be untruthful, you are in deep trouble in relation to this particular point.
Now, viewers, officers can refuse the issue. Officers can refuse to issue the permit if the application has unjust reason. So did you win anything? Did you all win anything? No. Did we as the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, when voiced for the pepper spray, did we achieve anything? No. 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 Caller, good night.
Good evening, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead.
Saieed, do you really feel these people really care about any citizen in this country? Let me explain something here. If you're taking a loan to buy a vehicle, you wouldn't look to, with that money you're getting, to see if you could get the best vehicle for the cheapest price?
Yes.
Obviously. Watch how these people consider Trinidad, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Here the price of the vaccine them that is selling worldwide. Moderna is $32. Pfizer is $19.50. Johnson & Johnson, all this is US, $10. AstraZeneca is $3. The Novak, $16. Sputnik, $10. And all these vaccines have efficacy of over 90%. Is the best. You know the Sinopharm, the Chinese vaccine where these people are going and buy, is over $30 for a shot of that vaccine. And you know what is the lowest vaccine efficacy in the world? So this man go and buy and pay a set of money for a vaccine that is about 60 to 75% efficacy and spending a set of money on it. When you could have gone and secure a loan somewhere, and this nonsense about they don't have vaccine available, total rubbish. All the vaccine right now in America is available for anybody who have the money to purchase it. So we could have get a loan somewhere and purchase vaccine for America. And Trinidad would have been a better place. I tell you earlier, you see Rowley, Stuart Young, and D.L. Singh, them supposed to be in jail today. Because of every single person that has died in this country is because of these three gentlemen. Have a good Saeed and Eid Mubarak to the Muslim community.
Thank you, my friend. Let me tell you something. He could not have said it better. He could not have said it better. Arawi noted that when someone wants to apply for a pepper spray permit, they would go to a police station and fill out a form. This form is intended to be very simple. Application or applicant can be 18 years and over or 16 and above with parents or guidance permission. The application fee would be $50. An authorized person would be able to use pepper spray only for self-defense.
We then allow, very importantly in 17A, subsection 2, the following. A person authorized to purchase, acquire, or have in possession pepper spray shall only use pepper spray in self-defense. This is tied on to the use of pepper spray against law enforcement, which is why we, in the provisions of Clause 31, are amending the law enforcement protection legislation. So that if you use pepper spray in the commission of a crime, if you use pepper spray against law enforcement, Madam Speaker, Madam President, that there will be significant consequences to be met, that you would have to consider carefully that you are not allowed. Now,
do you understand what's going on there? Do you understand what's going on? Let me just read this for you again. Under the Amendment Act, Estate Police, Special Reserve Officers, and others, as approved by the Minister, will be able to have pepper spray in their possession when performing their function. Does that tell you anything? Does that tell you anything? Listen to this now. He also added that current persons who have pepper spray in their possession have 6 months to apply for a permit. And listen to this, you could be denied your permit from a police officer. You could be denied. So did you win any war? No. All the big march you had, where it went? You want to achieve anything? No. The AG further stated that anyone in this prohibited class who is found with pepper spray in their possession may potentially be sanctioned if convicted there is a significant hefty fine and imprisonment. Woo! Did we get anything? No. You know what I pushed for? Miguel, a little wise. I stood right here and I pushed for them to remove the permit so that any individual could buy pepper spray. That is what I stood here and pushed for. But they still have to go to Parliament. They still have to go. They still have to debate. And I still stand a chance. I still stand a chance. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed. Good night. How are you?
I'm okay. Go right ahead.
Right. Number one, I want to just comment on something the Prime Minister said. I just got the opportunity to look at the interview on TTT this morning. I find it very shameless to come and tell the country, and this is the issue I have with him. He's saying, talking about procuring Pfizer vaccine. How could you come and tell? You think it's stupid people living in Trinidad or get to a village in Mason Hall? You are making a statement that your other Caribbean counterparts, the prime ministers and everybody, they were able to go on their own and negotiate and get their vaccines ahead of Trinidad. And the reason when we asked you, oh, you was chairman of CARICOM, you're a television host, you wear that cap. You're also a businessman, you wear that cap. You're a spiritual man, you wear that cap. So then you're the chairman of CARICOM, so you're not the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. When you're chairman, you hang up the hat. How ridiculous it could be again, right? And I could understand why the U.S. probably taking this, this stance against us in terms of this Venezuela, Trinidad, things, the relations keep going. The second thing you raise a very interesting point. You know why we cannot go to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, neither the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, aka the World Bank, or the Inter-American Development Bank? Because these international financial institutions require transparency and accountability. So everything could sweep under the rug to China. Saeed, I want you to also look at something. You know what's going on in this country, why all this going on, people dying? Take a good look at the CL financial assets. Tell me what's going on in CLICO these days. CLICO have some restructuring going on. Why everybody fighting cash for price of Angostura and fighting for all the rest of the malls at CL Financial, the remainder of the assets, because all the rest of the government assets already mortgaged. What about all the international assets that CL Financial had outside, all them town hall buildings and Miami apartments and down in Aventura and whatever that belong to the group? Who is using all these things tonight? And this is what Trinidad and Tobago not getting. This is where we, the common man, we depend on people like you to bring the issues. I'm waiting on a reporter. To talk to this Prime Minister and tell him to his face, come out and admit to the people if it did not make mistake, because people were behaving. But you know what's going on? When they send the question to the diplomatic center, the Prime Minister will decide who he answering and what questions he wants to answer. Otherwise, pack your things and do. So Saeed, keep up the work, keep Mubarak to you. And I hope people listening to me tonight in Trinidad and Tobago wake up and read what's going on and understand. We're going to the Chinese to borrow using their money at the end of the day to bring down what? And what are we doing with the remainder of the money? Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Now, during the pepper spray legislation debate, Senator questioned whether the legislation was meant to protect the citizens or the police from criminal, because it's only estate police, only SRPs. If you notice, it's only security. He stood on the security line, the estate police, the SRPs, and only if a police want, they will give you authorization to get it. The Firearm Amendment Bill 2021 was laid by the Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi. Opposition Senator Jayanti Lakshmidal questioned the AG on who was consulted on the legislation other than the Ministry of National Security.
policy positions are meant to address societal problems, and there is a general public policy framework that one must go through, and it involves a lot of consultation. Again, it is very unfortunate that this bill is brought here today, and we don't know what was the level of consultation, because all we kept hearing for year after year after year is that we're looking at it, we're looking at it. I've heard one reference to a recommendation from OLEP, which is a unit within the Ministry of National Security. So they consulted with themselves. But outside of the Ministry of National Security and the Office of Law Enforcement Policy, which is a unit within the Ministry of National Security, who else was consulted on this matter? And I am very concerned about the level of consultation.
Now remember when National Security came out and said that they're going to have meetings, cottage meetings, to find out what the people think about it. And I stood right here and I said, when you're having your meeting, I will be most present. Did they have any? No. No. They had none. She added that it took a public outcry for the government to bring the legislations to Parliament. She noted that persons charged with but not convicted of serious crime under the Act listed should not be deprived of their rights to have pepper spray until they are convicted. Let me tell you something. Jayanti is also an attorney. Yeah? She's also an attorney. She could have been standing where the Attorney General is standing presently. Take what I'm telling earlier. She could have been standing in that very same spot. Health Minister Terence Singh have stated that the government is in bilateral talks with Pfizer, Moderna, and are exploring all options in acquiring vaccine. Question on if these bilateral talks are coming in regards to TNT receiving Pfizer vaccine. They also reiterated that the government was in talks, but there is no firm arrangement.
We are in talks with Pfizer as we are in talks with Moderna and AstraZeneca. At this point in time, there is no firm arrangement.
Mr. Minister, you have been saying that for years.
Senator Mark. Senator Mark. No, Senator Mark.
Sorry, ma'am.
Yes.
Sorry.
And
I apologize.
sure.
They're always hearing that. How long you hearing that? How long you hearing that? Responding to another question as to whether TNT would be approaching India for another donation of vaccine, the other thing added that the Serum Institute is unable to supply vaccine due to the current surge of the virus.
In response to both parts of the question, the Serum Institute of India is currently unable to supply the COVID-19 vaccine under the COVAX facility or under any form of bilateral arrangement or entertain any such request. The primary reason is due to the surge in COVID-19 cases and deaths in India, for which I think we should all offer our condolences to our brothers and sisters in India. As of May 10th, 2021, the Delhi Minister of Health indicated that Delhi only had 1 day's stock of Covaxin stock remaining, and the Covishield has only 3 to 4 days of stock.
Now, viewers, because of the situation going on in India, I already think to myself that Serum would not be donating vaccine to any outside countries. Because of the surge that is taking place in India, they need vaccine themselves. The other thing further questioned on whether he was further questioned on whether Smith Robinson is the agent for the government for the importation of COVID-19 vaccine. The other thing stated that this was a question made to undermine the government vaccine process. He stated that no local distributor is involved in the importation of the vaccine.
This is another question that seeks to undermine faith in the country's vaccination program. Over the last 20 years, it has been customary for the Pan American Health Organization to procure vaccines through its revolving fund on behalf of the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Further, since 1993, the National Insurance Property Development Company, NIPDEC, is the agent for the procurement, storage, and distribution of vaccines on behalf of the government. In this instance, the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines, whether from COVAX, the African Council, or any other arrangement, as I have said ad nauseum in the public domain, will follow the same traditional procedure and practice as stated. Based on the above, as I have stated ad nauseum, no local distributor is involved in the importation of COVID-19 vaccines from COVAX, the African Council, or any other arrangement.
Senator Mark.
Madam President, the only people who are undermining this effort is the Prime Minister and your government. Nobody else.
Senator Mark,
yes,
can you take your seat, please?
Find out who is the owner of Smith Robinson, Trinidad and Tobago. I'll find out. But keep that in mind what he said, eh? Keep it in mind. Because down the road, we're going to be coming back to the same question that I asked you. Is it the same question that was put to him? Keep that in mind. Because down the road, I'm going to be bringing it back to you. I will be bringing it back to you. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead, sir.
Mr. Ali, I think it's the Minister of Agriculture on the show, telling the people about the hampers where they pay $6 a pound for the dashi and the cassava. But do you know in financial Shanigani on financial stress, it's about 8 or 9 vegetable food, they're selling the cassava at 12 pounds for $20.
12 pounds for $20?
And 12 pounds for $20. And the blue dashi is 5 pounds for $20. It's about 5 more loading from the shop. So you want to pay less than $2 a pound, and then the Minister of Agriculture to be $6 a pound for those dashi and cassava. So you need to take that and now they're looking to get kickback. We know Roland Sinana is kickback man. We don't know.
Thank you, caller. So viewers, constituency have been started, the MP's office have been started to distribute hampers, vegetable, fruits and chicken. So, tomorrow being Thursday, we would not have any live show due to the fact that it's Eid tomorrow, right? But Friday, remember Friday is our relationship segment night. But what I want you to do is that the constituencies, the people in the constituency that received your vegetable bag, would you please take a picture of your vegetables or your chicken or whatever it is that you got? Would you please take a picture and send it to me? 3391670. I want to see what you have. I want to see what you have. Now, we had the minister on a previous show stating that how many monies they have spent, what the individual will be getting. Their package will be valued at least close to $400, he said. So I want you to snap a picture and send your vegetable bag to 3391670, or you can email it to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com. Let us show the rest of Trinidad and Tobago what these citizens got. So viewers, to the Muslim community of Trinidad and Tobago, Eid Mubarak to you and your family. I know I am a Muslim. Tomorrow is our auspicious day. Just like the Hindus would have their day, the Christians would have their day. Tomorrow is our day. So I do want to wish you the best. I hope and I pray that the 30 days that you have fasted, may Allah grant you your reward in the coming days, months, and years. So viewers, just keep in mind that Real Talk with Saieed Ali is doing a drive to buy devices for 125 children. All I need you to do is make a contribution of $500 to $600. You can win an all-inclusive trip for two to Tobago in an, let me tell you something, in an exotic hotel. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry about the beach. Kiss your darling, baby, rise and shine. We're going to have breakfast in bed. All-inclusive, that is what I've given you all back. And you know, when I'm doing something, I just do something pretty good. So those who have contributed so far, I thank you so much. Those of you who wish to make a contribution, 3391670 or 2386716. So viewers, it's Wednesday night. I do want to thank you for joining us tonight. Thursday will be no live show, but Friday we will be back here for our relationship segment on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So until we meet again, Allahumma surkaba ila anda. Don't be a fool all the days of your life. Allah zarkaba illa rabakumbo alkama anta. Always look to put yourself ahead of the rest. Until we meet again, good night. From Real Talk Studios to the Muslim community of Trinidad and Tobago, we would like to extend Eid Mubarak to the Muslim community, to you and your family.